I'm so delighted to be here, beautiful people. Welcome to PM Personality Profile. My guest tonight is a politician and a diplomat, former Youth and Sports Minister. He is a former Bono Ahafo Regional Secretary, Ghana's former High Commissioner to India, and former chairman of the Kwame Saara University of Science and Technology Council, Kwame Saara Mensah. My guest tonight. Good to see you.
Hello, thank you.
It's been a while. How have you been and what have you been up to?
Oh, I've been hiding in my village because, I mean, there's a saying in Akan that when you finish with the national affairs, you come back home and assist your people. And that's exactly what I'm doing.
And how has it been so far?
Oh, it's been quite interesting, very interesting, because they at least taking something from me.
Okay. So you are a great sportsman. Specifically, which areas are you into?
I started with table tennis in school.
Okay.
In Prempeh College I attended, and I was a Northern Ghana champion. Ashanti, Branahafu, Northern Ghana. At that time, there was no Upper West, Upper East. And settled eventually with hockey.
Wow.
And I'm an international hockey player. I played in the Olympic Games. I played in the Intercontinental Games. We won the Africa Cup in Cairo in 1974. And I was voted the best defender in Africa at that tournament. So at least in terms of sports, I think that is what my output goes.
Okay, but recently there's been concerns about the national team, especially because we've not won a cup for a very long time. Until recently when we qualified for the World Cup, at the World Cup qualifiers. But even that, people are skeptical about our performance when it comes to winning the cup. What would it take for us to get back on our feet and also end this drought?
I think we may have to concentrate on the National League, that is football in the country. At the moment, it looks like all our attention is on the professional game. And any youth at all, at whatever age, wants to be a professional. And I don't think you can achieve much with that, because you go as an individual. But those days when Ohinijan was here, he was the director of sports under Nkrumah's regime. And you could see that sports in general was being handled from the grassroots right through the secondary schools. We had the academicals, and then from there you have the junior national teams, and then you progress into the national team. These days they sit down and there is a tournament going on somewhere, and tomorrow they announce a team of 24 to come. And nobody even knows them, you see. But the other side of it too is funding. Those days, individuals in the country were funding these things. We had Osei, he was taking charge of Bofuakwa. You have Sims Mensah, BK Dusei, and the whole lot, Nyamitei, Asofuk. They were people who spent their money in organizing these things. And to be honest, under present economic conditions, I wonder whether you are going to have individuals to dish out money for this. So we have to really sit down as a country. We have the talents, there is no doubt about that, but we have to sit down and see how best we can groom them and achieve something for the nation.
Let's talk about the man Kwame Saara Mensah. And I know you've served in several capacities. Let's start from you as a Bono Regional Secretary, then to Youth and Sports Minister, then to India as Ghana's High Commissioner. How was the journey like? I
was Regional Secretary first, then I went to India, came back to Youth and Sports.
Good.
And it's been quite interesting, there is no doubt about that. And it's a service to Ghana, first and foremost. I think first and foremost, when I was appointed the Regional Secretary for Branahafu, to be honest with you, I didn't know Jerry Rollins at that time.
Okay.
And I was then the estate officer at Kumasi University. One morning at about 7 o'clock, a gentleman, I don't think he would want me to mention his name, but he's done a lot for me.
For you.
I think I may plead with him not to. Chachuchikata.
Okay.
About 7 a.m. I went to the office. I was there when he came. He said he was from Accra and they said he should come and pick me. Said, pick me to Accra at that time.
For what?
For what? He said, oh, I don't know. Honestly, I wasn't too sure
You
it was me.
A bit
yes, you know, because 31st December had just, and I was the first person they said they should come and pick me. So why pick me?
What have I done?
Well, so at the end of the day, I had to go after informing the Vice Chancellor. I got to Accra and then I stayed there for quite some time. Then late in the evening, I was ushered into a room. As soon as I got there, I saw PV Obi, Kwame Saara Mensah, Totobi Kwachi, the whole lot.
The squad.
The whole lot. But what's happening? And nobody had told me anything, you know. So they said, sit down. I sat down. There were these soldiers around with guns and today be today. But at the end of the day, it was quite an exchange, interview for more than 31 hours. And maybe they wanted to know exactly my impression about whatever was going on. So I had to leave Accra the following morning to come back. I got back to the university and 6 a.m. there was a vehicle at my residence that they say you have been appointed regional secretary, so we should come and pick you. And that was it. So I had to come. And that's how I got to Sunyani at that time. And to be honest, I had to leave subsequently. I resigned.
Okay. Why?
When the judges were killed.
Okay.
But just when they were killed, you know, people all over the country thought it was the government that organized it. So I said to myself, let me at least let the public know that the government is not involved in this. So there was a deba, about 3,000, more than 3,000 people. And then I said,
in the Bono region?
Yes, at the Civic Center in Sunyani. So I said, if the government or any member of government is involved in this, I'll be the first person to resign. Okay.
And you did, true to your words?
When Matikwe was, you know, mentioned, he was a PNDC member. Okay. So when he was mentioned, that very day I resigned.
Wow.
And went back to the university.
You're a man of your words.
As I was then the estate officer. So I went back, started a job. The university sent me to London University for a short course, 3 months. I got back. I thought I was hiding in the university. Within 48 hours, people came. They said they should come and pick you.
Again?
And that's for what? So I went back to Accra and met Kojo, T, and then at that time we were talking about issues in Brown Hafu. Okay. Because I was the only person from Brown Hafu in government. Okay. And since I left, they needed somebody to. Okay. So immediately I mentioned also a champion's name. And they said, okay, go and work on him. And then eventually he joined the government. And then I got about 3-4 other people who also joined. And as soon as I finished, I came back to Kumasi. Then I was called back to Accra again. And I was informed, okay, now we want you to be an ambassador to either Yugoslavia or India. Where do you want? I said, for the first time I've heard that somebody will want to choose where he wants to go.
It wasn't imposed on you.
No. And I selected India.
Okay.
So fortunately I was given the nod and I went to India for about 5 years and came back. I was recalled in 88. As soon as I got here, we had the Olympic Games. I had to go. We come back, Commonwealth Games, Africa Games, a whole lot of activities going on. And then I had to leave eventually.
As the High Commissioner to India, how did you cope? I mean, it means that you had to learn their language. Which were the words that you picked? And what does that mean?
1, 2, 3, 4.
My goodness. That's all you could pick. Me, how are you?
Oh, no. Yes. Acha, Tike,
Okay. Ache, Tike.
Tike.
That means, Ache means how are you? And Tike means like I'm fine. Okay. And so for the period that you stayed there, that was the only...
Because it's all English.
You didn't have friends?
I wouldn't say friends to teach. You see, it's a bit hectic. Yeah. India had about 100 and something missions.
Okay.
And assuming each one has one day to do something, you can imagine the sort of number of activities.
So let's talk about you then becoming the Minister for Youth and Sports. And earlier I spoke about how we've been worried about the national team and other sporting activities. For you, what were the highs and lows?
The highs, I'll pick the highs first.
Definitely.
You know, it was during my time that the Starlets won the JVC World Cup in Italy. Okay. And I accompanied the team, and then we brought the cup. Good. That was the first time that we won.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I would say that there was also qualification of Africa Cup. You know, we for about 12, 16 years before I came, we had never qualified for the Africa Cup. But then we put in a structure, and at the end of the day, we qualified for Senegal, 92. Okay. Unfortunately, I had left. At the time when we qualified and they were about to go, I had to leave the ministry. Oh. So I wasn't in Senegal. Okay. Unfortunately, when they got there, they had some problems in Nigeria, and which I'm not saying that if I was there, I would have done better.
Happened. Okay.
But at least maybe it depends upon how things would have gone. Okay. And so that was it. And in terms of personally participating, you know, I was saying that I was a member of the Black Sticks. Okay. That is the team that represented Ghana at the Africa Cup, Hockey Cup in Cairo in 1974. And we won the tournament. Okay. And qualified then to represent Africa at the World Cup in Malaysia in 1975. And even in 1975, I won the SWAG Award. That is Sports Writers Association of Ghana. Okay. The best hockey player in Ghana. Okay. And wow. And before then, I had also assisted in the organization of sports. The first All Africa University Games was held at Legon. Okay. And at that time, I was just going into my national service. So I was drafted to the secretariat to assist in organizing. That Professor Bene, the late Professor Bene, was the president of the federation. Okay. And we did it successfully. Before then too, I had been secretary to Bruno Ahafo Stars Football Club. And we eventually changed the name to Bofakwa Tano. Oh, okay. And it was during my time that we brought in Kwesi Owusu, Dano Owusu, Enoch Esumadu, who was also captain for Black Stars. Oh. So I have a little bit of history. Okay. As far as sports organization, being a player and whatever.
It's a great contribution.
And for that reason, my association with sportsmen in general has been quite good.
Cordial.
And I believe that was also another thing that helped in our winning the World Cup in Italy. Because here you were a minister accompanying the boys, and I have learned something from the Vice Chancellor of KNUST, Dr. Ivan Samfum, when I was the SRC president. Okay. You know, he was one person who would want to hear things by himself, not to rely on second information. So whatever was happening at the university, you call the SRC president. What's happening? What's the feeling of the students? You call us to when we have a housing committee meeting with these professors, and nobody can bully you because you make sure that you tell the story as you know it. And then he would take a decision.
That's what he believes, not from any other person.
Any other person. And for that reason, when we got to Italy, they had given me an official vehicle. But anytime our team was playing, I was on the bus, and the car would be following. And then I'll be singing and clapping and doing whatever with the boys.
So they really felt that you were with
them. And even when they were getting down to the dressing room, I'll pick the suitcase, join them, and then
assist them. Oh, wow.
So at one point, Odati Lamte, Chief, this match we will win for you. So he had forgotten that he was playing for Ghana. So for this match we will win for you.
So they really wanted to impress you.
That is the point.
Wow.
And they did very well. It happened, and we brought the trophy.
Wow.
As far as law is concerned, it's not like trying to pull anybody's shirt or whatever. But the problem of sports administration now is lack of funding.
Okay.
Lack of funding, total. You go to youth and sports now, I don't know anyway, but I doubt whether they have a budget of their own. As for the document, it will be there. Time comes, a team is traveling, you get to your destination, and you haven't even gotten your approval. You know, and when you have these boys and you are unable to, move their spirits, you see that they don't perform much.
You were chairman of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology Council, and I'm glad you spoke about what you really picked from the Vice Chancellor when you were SRC President. How would you describe the university then and now? Has there been any improvement?
I think then it's not long ago since I left.
Okay.
So I don't think it's the transition is that. But if I take it from when I was a student, I would say a lot.
Okay.
Because at that time the student population was 1,750.
Okay.
When we were there, now it's 80,000 plus. Though they have a lot of students doing distance learning, but at least the pressure on the lecturers and whatever, you can imagine. I remember when we were students, our class, I did the land economy.
Okay.
Our class, we were 14.
Just 14?
1-4. But then I could see that over the years, KNUST has been very lucky. Lucky in the sense that because of the courses that they offer, it's giving them the opportunity to get more students. And with this introduction of IGF, internally generated funds, they're able to do a lot. Because, as you are aware, government funding is not for a whole lot of things on the campus. So I think I will commend the university administration for what they have achieved so far. And I think maybe they can do more.
You weren't just chairman, you were also a student and an SRC president, to be precise. Who were your lecturers and how did they actually facilitate your learning process?
Yeah, we had Professor Benakwe. He was our head of department. I was in land economy. And we had Professor Bruby. We have Mr. Asante and a whole lot of them. And though this, I think we were a bit lucky in the sense that the class of 14, you can have interaction easily with the lecturer.
Okay.
You know, and then those days too, the library was first class. We have a lot of books and whatever, so you can just walk in and do your referral and whatever. So I think at that time we were then building up, and they really directed us in whatever we were doing. So I think we may have to thank them for whatever they did for us.
What kind of SRC president were you?
It was an incident which, as of today, it doesn't, to me, it doesn't put the state securities in a very good state.
Okay.
You know, there was a sandal slapping incident at the university hospital.
Sandal slapping?
Yes. A professor's wife slapped a student with her sandals.
Wow.
And it generated a whole lot of
controversy.
Yes, on campus. to an extent that that afternoon there was a massive demonstration on campus. Then the regional commissioner, Kenebedu, then came in to speak to the students. They said, we don't know you. We only know our SRC president. So we will let you talk. And I think it pained him, you know. So the following year, there was another demonstration. They had beaten, soldiers had beaten up a student at Legon. And it was easy linking up. Chambers was at Legon. Kantamaklu was at Cape Coast. I was in Kumasi. And the linkage was there, you know. So within hours, we all started another demonstration. How they came to beat us on campus, soldiers, you won't believe.
So as the university celebrates its 70th anniversary, how do you feel and what's your goodwill message to the university?
All that I would say is KNUST should not be complacent for the achievements that they've got, because they've done a lot, and if you are not careful, you become complacent. Meanwhile, in terms of national development, you realize that science and technology is now the order of the day. I mean, if you don't have science and technology based, obviously you are not going to develop. And KNUST is in that sector. So all that I would say is they should try and look at the problems that we have in this country and let us identify and solve. Unfortunately for us, a number of research projects that have been completed are just lying on the shelves. And people are not, other businesses are not interested, or the university itself is not doing very good marketing to get it on the street. Because when we were at the university, the agric faculty, for instance, they were coming up with dwarf plantain. The idea was, I hope you have seen the dwarf bananas. Soft like this, and then it's they wanted to develop something for plantain, so that when the wind blows, at least they will stand. They will stand. Up to now, I haven't seen it. Though there were some on the campus. You know,
so it's still on the shelves.
That is it, and that's something that could help. Why should Ghana, this age, still be using cutlass in farming? You know, these are small things that. There was this Chinese video. You know, they started producing cocoa.
Wow.
China, yes, they've started exporting cocoa. And in our case, we heap the cocoa pots. You get about 10-20 people surrounding, go to split. I mean, the whole thing is so cumbersome. So you don't get the use to.
I saw that they have an equipment or something to split the cocoa pot.
And then you put it on a reel and it goes, it removes the beans, and it goes into a shed. You know, we are sitting down, still using the olden methods. So KNUST can assist us.
Kwame Saara Mensah, he's a former youth and sports minister. He's also been Ghana's commissioner to India. He has quite an experience, or an interesting experience, growing up. When I return from this break, he will be sharing with us his growing up and all the experiences he gathered whilst growing up. He will also be telling us what he really wanted to become growing up. Did he even know that he was going to be a politician? At what point did he develop the love for politics? Plus, his family life and lifestyle. Stay with me, I'm coming right back. Welcome back to PM Personality Profile. My guest still Kwame Saara Mensah. We're having quite an insight here in his life. I know you're from the Bono Ahafo region. Is that where you were born?
Yes.
In Tanoso?
Tanoso.
Okay.
So I'm now back to base.
Back to base. And your parents both are from Tanoso?
Yes. My everything is from Tanoso.
Oh my goodness. Interesting. That means you grew up here in Tanoso?
Not quite. At the age of about 5, my father moved to Bichim.
Okay.
Which is just yes,
Tanoso.
And that's where I grew up.
Okay. How would you describe growing up in Bichim? How was it like?
I'll pick it from Tanoso. The 5 before, because we used to come for holidays.
How old were you? Okay.
We used to come for holidays and quite a number of times that we were here.
Okay.
Because there's an interesting story to tell. You know Tano River?
Yes.
It's just around here.
Okay.
And we are on the banks.
Okay.
Those days, there was a bridge on the river. When you get there now, there is a bridge on the left, the old one. We used to stand on it and dive into the river. Meanwhile, there were crocodiles.
In the river?
Yeah.
And you weren't scared?
Because we had been told, as to whether it's true or not, I don't know. We had been told that when they see somebody from here, they don't attack.
They will not harm you. Okay.
And we took it. Now you would have asked, how would the crocodile know that you are from here?
Maybe they know.
I don't know how they were getting the message. So, because I never heard that anybody had been,
harmed by the crocodile.
We had Professor Champong, he is at Kumasi Medical School. Then we had Deborah, he was Minister for Agric under Kufuor. Then we have Pierre Num and a whole lot of us. Okay. We go and stand on the bridge and then jump in. But then when we see the crocodile coming, quickly
then you run away.
We run away as to whether
they
it
knew
will attack
you
us or not. That's why we weren't too sure. And going through, I got into Bichim. Okay. Bichim, I attended Presbyterian school, primary and then middle. Okay. You realize that over there, a class of about 46, we were. But then that was the only middle school you had in the vicinity of the town. So all the other villages, when we get to form class 6, and we are going to form 1 at that time, they will all come and sit for what we call common entrance. Okay. And if you pass, you get in. That's when we used to have pass no way. Okay. And Bichim was quite interesting. At that time, we didn't have much amenities. So even when you need a bucket of water, you have to walk almost 1 kilometer.
To fetch? To
fetch.
Wow.
And you get there, everybody wants the water. Everybody is standing in it. So we are walking to the head. That thing is coming. Why don't you pick?
What were your fond memories of Bichim?
Presbyterian school, we used to have a coffee plantation, small one, about 1 acre or whatever, behind the school. And there was this old lady who used to sell cocoyam, boiled cocoyam. And over here, those days, 1 cocoyam would be about that size. You cut it into, boil, and then have kontomire
by the side.
By the side. So every morning, you have to get to school before parade at 8 o'clock. So about 7 o'clock, everybody will rush. Make sure that you take your cocoyam and this before.
Very important.
Otherwise, you are going to stay in school the whole day.
Without food.
Without food. Okay. And we also had, there were 2 schools, Presbyterian and Catholic. Okay. The Catholics, we used to have Empire Day. Okay. We used to march through town, like even Queen Elizabeth when she was coronated and whatever. Then we had, we used to call it what? The staff, Abampoma. There was this boy, a fancy boy, and the guy throws the thing with ease, He was leading this Catholics, the Catholic band. Yeah. Oh boy, you throw the thing up and he's trying to catch it and it falls.
He's not an expert.
So some of us decided, why don't we go to the Catholic school?
Because this Presbyterian
This
guy,
Presbyterian
they
guy,
can't do it
he can't
properly.
handle it. But it was quite interesting.
In Betrim, what were the, terrible moments that you had that you still even remember at this age?
There was this man who had sugarcane farm, and we used to go there. We didn't steal. We were just going to cut some to eat. And then when you cut, you have to share, split the thing. We went one day, and two of the boys, they were holding the thing, one on the left, right, and just before the other one cut, he pulled it. Oops. So fast.
That would be terrible.
It was terrible.
Goodness.
And you know what we did? We ran away.
And you left him there?
Hey, because while we were going to steal that.
Oh my God.
But looking back, but he didn't die anyway.
So later you went to visit him?
We had to go to his house to find out what was. And we didn't want him to tell people that we were part of the team that went, because we want to steal the thing.
But the sugarcane owner did not get to know, or he got to know?
He got to know that somebody has been there. He went there to find out. He got to the house. And interestingly, the boy didn't mention our names.
Oh.
Then we should have taken him to the hospital.
So then you went to Prempeh College?
Yes.
How was Prempeh College?
Those days, there was no secondary school in Bravo.
Yeah, so you have to go all the way to Kumasi.
It wasn't. The others went to Achimota, Accra Academy, Adisadel, and the rest. We are the lucky ones who got to Kumasi and
stopped there. You didn't have to travel.
Because apart from Doma Secondary School, which was a Doma State school, not government.
Okay.
There was no government school.
Wow.
Government secondary school in Bravo, the whole region.
Wow.
And Nkrumah had then started the GET, Educational Trust Schools. So Sunyani Secondary School was opened in September 1960, the year that we were going to secondary school. And I got selected, or I even applied to go to Prempeh College, because one, it was a Presbyterian school, Presbyterian Methodist. So it was my denomination. And then two, it was the only secondary school that you see for the first time when you are going to Kumasi.
Yeah.
So it's Prempeh.
Prempeh all the way.
All the way.
What did you read in Prempeh College?
Oh, I did general arts.
General arts. What kind of a student were you?
You know Kwesi Ahoy?
Yes.
He was my mate.
Okay.
Kwesi Ahoy was my mate, so you take him. And he was a very good friend of mine.
Birds of the same feathers.
But then interestingly, when you said birds of the same feathers, there was this chemistry lecturer, Paul from Poland, at KNUST. And then he will give homework at weekends. Monday, the first person he will ask for answer will be you. And if I am your friend, I'll be the next person.
The next person.
And if you are unable to answer, it means I cannot answer. So the guy will say, ships of the same feathers flocks together. It was very interesting. We had a lot of sportsmen at Prempeh College at that time, national level. We had Kwame Mensah. He was later, awarded Osajibo's own boy, OW. Then we had Ohene Frempong. I think he passed off about a month or two ago. He became a professor in sickle cell disease, international repute. Then we had Stan Alote. Stan Alote won the Commonwealth 200 meters in Kingston, 1966. He was also our mate. And in a lot, Reverend Abuaji Mensah of presiding bishop of Methodist Church was my mate.
Wow.
We had Dr. Apu, Akosa, a whole lot of them.
It was a squad.
Also, yes.
Were you a bad boy?
I wouldn't say I was bad. Because Prempeh College at that time If you were a bad boy, you won't survive.
You will not
You will
survive.
not survive.
there.
But at
Okay.
least one day, this Kwesi Awe, the same Kwesi Awe, me, and then there was this other one. He's now professor in emeritus in mathematics in the US.
Okay.
He's called Nuro,
Okay.
Kofi Nuro. The three of us, they were having interku, you know, the various zones.
Yeah.
Prempeh had theirs, and Opoku and others were we said we would go and watch. So we went to Kumasi Sports Stadium without hesitate.
Wow.
On our way back, we were on the bus, public bus, these municipal buses. We got to Riboli, Bantama. Instead of getting down, instead of going to the school, we decided to go to Riboli. We got down, and the headmaster's car was following us.
Really?
Then, as soon as we got down, he did this. We went, he said, sit down.
Come and explain yourself.
Hey, you can imagine. And that's one experience that I had. And I said, oh, enough is enough.
So were you punished for that?
Yes, he gave us to Charles Lamte, who was the sports master at that time. And the guy too took us to the university, to the school football field. He said, read the whole thing. So, how can three people come and please, we are not going to classes again? It will take us about 1 year to do this.
My goodness.
But you couldn't complain.
So what did you do? You were able to read?
Oh, we did only one line and then he said, go. I mean, seriously, because it would have been impossible.
Go and say no more.
Go and say no more.
But at Prempeh College, what would you describe as your most challenging moment?
I wouldn't say life was easy as such, but it depends upon your background, where you came from. Some were in very dire need. There is no doubt about that. And some of us, me in particular, for instance, my father died at a very young age. I was 11 when my father died.
Oh.
And my other siblings, we were 6, you know, at the time when my father died. And it turned out that the others couldn't go to school again because at that time, no will. So it's you die and your property goes to your nephew.
Family.
Yes.
And then
if they decide,
nobody cares about your children.
So, but I was very fortunate because my father had a wife who died in 1944. Okay. So he had children. Okay. Before, the woman died before he married
your mother.
My mother. And 3 of them, you know, one was later on became MP in Nkrumah regime, Sarah Adrijamfi, and then Dr. Sarah Chirekon. He died recently. We had the funeral somewhere last month. Okay. And then the 3rd one, Saara Mensah. If you have heard of Saara Mensah, who played for Black Stars. Exactly. That's the father. Okay. You know. So they decided to look after me. And that's how I got through. Otherwise, I would have joined my other
colleagues who were struggling.
So it wasn't easy in that respect because getting extras apart from the school fees becomes a problem. A big problem.
Wow. What really did you want to become?
Did I know? Really? To be honest, initially I was fond of architecture. Okay. I thought. But somewhere along the line, I said, 6 years, you come and sit down for one course. I better find some shortcut. And then the land economy was introduced and I switched off. Okay. You know. So that was it. Because those days we didn't have the opportunity to, because there were no or very few role models that you could look up to.
Someone said you could only look up to teachers.
Yes. Oh, but they were even giving names. You go to class 1, those days you have to have an English name.
Definitely.
It's not now that we have decided to. And interestingly, you get to the teacher, he asks you, what is your name? We don't have, so you are just standing. He says you are Ebenezer.
Then they give you a name
and
like that.
And they give you a name like that.
Wow.
Oh, yes.
So whilst growing up, did you want to become a politician, or did you know that you would become a politician? At what point?
I doubt whether I wanted to be a politician. What I wanted to be is a community
Person.
to give community service.
Okay.
Because I have that empathy for people.
Okay.
And that was my concern. And I had been doing that for quite some time. And I believe that is the more reason why I got called by PNDC. And for now, I'm not too sure, but I still believe, I didn't ask him, but I still believe it was Kwame Saara who mentioned my name.
That's,
you know, because when I was General Secretary of the Alumni Association, that December, 31st December, that December, before the end of the month, I organized a symposium at the campus. Kwame Saara was a speaker. And it was Archbishop Sapong, Kwesi Sapong, was also a speaker, and one or two other people. And it generated some debate. It was because it was very topical. And soon after, in fact, Atuahoi came, Kwame came, and Kwesi came. So after the event, I was expecting them to stay over. And they said, no, they have to get back. Then within 24 hours, Jerry Rawlings announces his revolution. And next time I see, the next person I see is Kwame Saara. I said, what does Kwame Saara got to do with this? So when my name was mentioned to them, and they called me, I said, the guys knew this thing was going to happen, and they never told me. So I wasn't really cut to be a politician. Otherwise, I would have probably joined the bandwagon, if so to speak.
Was there ever a time that you regretted being a politician?
I wouldn't say there has been a moment. I wouldn't say so. Because during my time, at least there were certain things that I did, which at the end of the day, Ghana benefited. And that's the satisfaction that I have.
Fulfillment.
I went to, those days, it would take you about 3-4 hours to travel from here to Mim, because the road was very bad. So I went to sleep at Mim and had to tour some cocoa villages. I walked for about 3-4 kilometers to one village. When I got there, the cocoa that they had purchased in sacks were a heap, like a mountain. So I said to myself, what is happening? And they had covered it with tarpaulin. Then with the rain and the sun and whatever, it was destroyed. Now it's palm branches. And I said, what? So I had to go to Accra. From there, from the bush, I went to Accra, went to cocoa board. Said, we are all going to carry cocoa.
Definitely.
Because this one. And those days, you are lucky you have soldiers around. You know, so, and they started begging. Then it got to PNDC. And we organized this cocoa evacuation at that time, which was very beneficial. You know, another thing I may wish to, the soldiers. You know, they killed some naval officers in Second at the time of the... And I was in the office when they rushed on me, forced the door open with guns.
Wow.
About 4 of them. I said, what's happening? Am I under arrest? No, sir. We've arrested our officers and we are coming to tell you, so you inform Accra. I said, you arrest them, come and inform me to go and tell Accra. Why don't you tell Accra?
Yourself.
You are the regional minister. Then you should have told me before
arresting the people.
So, what are you telling me? You go and bring your leader. You know, they went to the guard room and brought an officer at gunpoint. Are you the leader? Yes, sir. Are you? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I said, then go and look at you and solve your problem. But the army commander will come, make sure that nothing happens to any officer. You know, so I got in touch with Accra and that was organized. And meanwhile, other officers, you know, Sunyani, they had Reke squadron and then the 3BN, but they are in the same barracks.
Okay.
Then they brought their officers to the office and said, to ask what the others came to tell me. I said, none of your business. You go. So they went. And then there was rumor in town that I had been killed.
Goodness.
My body was lying at the regional office.
My God.
So I had to go to town for people to see me.
Didn't some of them run and say you're a ghost?
Oh! I had already left Sunyani, some of the lawyers, and they had packed off.
My goodness.
Oh yeah, it wasn't easy.
Wow.
It wasn't easy, but
at that point,
at least I would say that I saved some lives.
You did. you did.
So, and even those days, you know, there is the community work. You know, we organized the Dawenya project.
Yeah.
We, as student leaders, Chambers, me, Dodo, Kantama Klo from Cape Coast, Chambers was in Legon. And quite a number. Asante Sechi, he was my secretary. We organized the student front to go to Dawenya and start digging.
Oh, wow.
Yes, for the Dawenya dam.
Oh, to be built.
Sad to say that we couldn't see anything from it.
Out of it. That was
because
sad.
Me, the other day I was going to Prempeh. I got there, I saw a signboard. Dawenya. I said, what? It's now a city? I didn't know. And it was meant to, you know, produce vegetables for Accra.
And the dam never saw light of day.
I understand they started demarcating the lands for their individual selves.
Interesting. So which among your children are following your steps?
I have 4 children. The first one is a computer programmer.
Okay.
He's just left Ghana. He's now working UK. The family is there.
Okay.
The second one, Yao, is at Bank of Ghana. And the third one is a doctor at it's a physician specialist at Rich Hospital. And the last one did actuarial science. Now she's done accountancy, FCCA. And to say that who is following you, you know, these days the children, they don't do sports. So the level that we were doing it.
Yeah.
But then I would say that each one of them probably has picked something from me.
Oh, okay.
The way I look at it, because I am very time conscious. And I can see 1 or 2 of them that they are
following that. I must say that we are so proud of all your achievements. So as a sportsman, always a sportsman, do you still do some sporting activities?
I was captain of Achimota Golf Club.
Okay.
About a couple of years back. Before I came down here to settle. And now it's walking. You do a lot of walking. I do a lot of walking.
Because you look very healthy.
Yeah, I do a lot of walking. In fact, at least 1 hour every other day.
Okay.
At least. I do
1 hour, so you do it in the house or outside?
Yes,
okay.
1 hour.
Okay.
I time myself and walk briskly.
Wow.
At least 1 hour.
And every other day you have to do that?
Yeah, I have to do it.
Wow.
Today is Saturday. I'm off. I did it yesterday. I'm off, and tomorrow will be church. But Monday,
you are back at it.
Well, even if it's rainy,
you will still do
it because I think hockey, sports in general has helped me a lot, and for that I won't leave it.
Okay, I mean it's good to also be keeping fit, and it explains how you're looking. But when you retire at home and you are alone, what do you do to relax? Do you listen to music sometimes?
He's at the university.
At KNUST. Oh, really?
He was
Who's that?
yeah, he technical principal technician
Oh, really?
at the science faculty.
Oh,
He's on retirement anyway, but he's still there.
I see. So how do you dance to this? Okay. I want to say a very big thank you to you for talking to us. It's been really insightful talking to you, and we appreciate you. Keep up the good work and keep contributing your quota to the development of Mother Ghana. Viewers, thank you so much for watching. Same time next week, another exciting edition of PM Personality Profile awaits you. My beautiful dress was made by Needle Thread Designs. Visit them at Tesano and also call them on 0543196451. My hair was styled by Rashmore City. Call them on 05582666028 or visit them on the Dakoma Nyameche Road. And my makeup products are supplied by Ultimate Glamour. Visit them on the Legon campus or call them on 0506012627. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Enjoy the rest of our program.